same time, like, come on, like, there's no other character besides.
Yeah,
But
it makes like it does make sense. But before I saw this,
yeah,
my everything that I had, my like intuition and stuff. I was thinking like, oh, he's gonna be like. I thought he was actually gonna be Johnny Cage.
same here.
Because I mean, it only made sense because I was like, oh, like he's kind of like he could be like a movie star, and he's
pretty
star
boy
guy.
Yeah.
Fourth wall,
But,
he is.
yeah. But yeah, I would agree. I mean, I agree with you, Wes. It does kind of seem weird for them to write him in. And like you said, I enjoyed the stuff that he did, and I was going to even say before you even mentioned it, I feel like his superpower, or not superpower, his Kana is like kind of like what Black Panther has. Like he just absorbs kinetic energy,
that's true,
and then is able to send it out. But he does it in a way to where he's like a human punching bag. And he's just taking blow after blow, and then he's like, okay, I got my ass kicked enough where I've stored up enough energy to like give an uppercut to
Goro.
Yeah.
Like
and it doesn't even really do anything. It hits him. He's like, oh shit! Like you made me bleed.
It's almost like how in the video games you have to get beat up a little bit in order to use your special. Like your meter, your special meter.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is to me, at least. But I don't know. I enjoyed the story.
Same here.
There was no real tournament. Like in the first one, there's no tournament. They're basically they're
fighting before the fight.
Yeah, they're getting the rules broken, so they have to kind of fight back to stop Earthrealm from getting destroyed.
Yeah, because that was one of the major rules in the first movie was there's no fighting before the tournament, because you would be eliminated or sent back to Earth from Earthrealm or whatever realm. So yeah,
Shang Tsung even says that he's like, we've taken other fighters or other worlds. Before the tournament, so like, what does it matter? Like, they're not going to catch us. Basically, they're just, they're breaking the rules. They know what they're doing. And even Raiden says, he's like, it's forbidden to do this. You can't do this. And,
to interfere. What's cool is Shang Tsung is actually in Marco Polo. He plays the Chinese emperor, so he's almost he's almost like the same character. So full circle, same guy.
I do love they kept the characters that they had very original to the video games. I thought so. I love everything felt very authentic to the video games, at least.
I'd have to agree too. I always questioned. Well, the only time that I watched it, and then I watched like a bunch of like YouTube videos on it, but Liu Kang and Kung Lao, I felt like they could have been a little bit more focused, but they were like the mentors, right? Mm-hmm. They were like they were almost like I of course I approached it like a pick your own journey video game. That's how I approached the movie. And those two guys were like your trainers. They were like people that were trying to show you how to use your special powers, because that's exactly what they were doing. And like, and I felt like Raiden was like their master, their sensei, or their Shidoshi. That's who he was. But I felt like those two characters were really they stayed true to their original video game characters, and especially their moves, right down to the fucking leg sweep on Kano. Like that move is like you use that move all the time when you're a kid, just to fucking make your opponent mad, until you got.
That was hilarious. That was bringing back memories for me.
Yeah.
He does it 3 times in a row.
Is that the only fucking move you know?
But yeah, I felt like they really captured. Yeah, let's talk about Kano, dude. I feel like we talked about him off air, but what do you guys think? Like, he's your favorite character? I know he provided a lot of comic relief.
I'd say he's probably the most memorable.
Yeah.
Definitely in the movie, just because he has so many one-liners, and he's like a human pop culture like reference, because he says so many things. He's like, oh, he called him like Magic Mike. It was everything he was saying was just like everything he said was hilarious to me. I feel like they wrote his lines perfect. He definitely he took away some of the seriousness from it.
Yeah.
But I think that was intentional. Yeah, I know. I think the one thing, Cabal, the character, you get to introduce to him, and he's kind of like, oh, is there a guy named Kano over there? And he's like, Kano, and he's like, yeah, he's a low-life piece of shit scumbag. You're gonna love him.
Ha. Yeah.
But I thought that was hilarious, and that's a perfect like description of his character.
Yeah, he's like the douchebag you love to hate. So like. He, in actuality, he did pretty good as an actor, because you really don't like him. But I thought it was real fickle how that fool just switched sides on them really quick, and it showed how he can go from being a good guy to bad guy, and then you kind of just don't trust him anymore.
That's something that's one of the parts that I feel like the pacing is a little weird, because he's just like, okay,
yeah, it's a real '90s film.
Yeah, and then
he's like, well, what am I gonna do? And they're like, oh, just break that wand over there. He's like, okay.
And it's like, yo, nobody was thinking to protect the wand?
Nope.
Like, really? Like, what the fuck, Raiden?
Yeah, I felt... I mean, maybe it was purposely put in that way because they wanted it to still have that feel of like, hey, this is a video game movie or something.
And I'm cool with that, but what, like I was saying in my intro, is that I feel like that Red Band trailer, if we go back and watch it now, that's a different
movie
than what we actually got.
That's how they got us in.
Yeah.
You know what else though too, Wes and James, is in the games, staying true to the traditional games, it was very 50-50 as well, very gory, but also very comedic, like with them almost Three Stooges, like when Sub-Zero throws the ice on the floor and he's all slipping backwards, he's like whoop, 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 stuff where they jump around. It's still kind of comedic, but I feel like maybe it was overdone and dry. Shout out to Onaris. Overdone and dry. Like, they just were trying to they were trying too hard, maybe,
where they were trying to capture, and maybe we're gonna sound like
elitists.
Nah, but like it's because we don't like, obviously they've done video game properties and then taken it another direction, and then we hate that too.
Yeah.
So this one, it's like, it's in the foreground. It's in like that 50-50 where it's like, yeah, they got the gore and the action right, and even the characters right, but then you don't get to really they don't get fleshed out enough.
I think that's where I have the same issues as you with that. I feel like Jesus, I think like Kung Lao and Liu Kang, those guys could have been fleshed out a little bit more. Like, they could have had some more backstory. Like, you get a cool little backstory with Liu Kang and how he was like an orphan and he killed this he killed this guy, and that's how he got his mark, and that's how he becomes who he is as a kid or a teenager. But we really only get like, I want to say like 10-15 minutes of Kung Lao.
Yeah, like he's a good character.
His character was, I want to say, probably one of... I loved his character, and when he got his soul taken, I was like, oh, come on. Like, this dude was, like... He was probably like the badass, the best fighter you had, and he's gone now. And that's, of course, a part of the story where they go... even they even say like, well, like in like Kung Lao's gone, now we can't it's hopeless. Like we can't do anything. Liu Kang was basically like the downgraded version, I guess he would say himself, of Kung Lao, because he was kind of like his older cousin.
So he kind of looked up to him like if he was his idol or something.
Like a brother, basically like a brother. They were cousins, but they thought of I'm sure he thought of him as like an older brother figure.
Like me and Tiny.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Shaolin Monks game, one of the best Mortal Kombat games out there, because they actually put in the side scroller. It was more than just an arcade fight. Like it was a beat 'em up. Like a side scroll where you play
action adventure.
Yeah, you can do co-op where you're Kung Lao and Liu Kang, and they team up and just beat the shit out of everyone. You go through worlds.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, for PS2.
That's really cool.
And what's his name? Ed Boon, one of the co-creators of Mortal Kombat, he just tweeted the other day, and I don't know if this is true or not, so if you're hearing this, maybe debunk me if I'm wrong, but he's saying that the next Mortal Kombat game is going to be a sequel to Shaolin
Monks.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
that's cool. So yeah, that would be really awesome, because I feel like those two guys, you can make something out of those guys. Like let's talk about Sonia Blade and Jax, dude.
Jax is one of my favorite characters in the video games since I was very little.
Yeah, he's a cool character,
and he's really good in the movie. But again, if you were to chop up everything that he does in the movie, it's not very much screen time.
True.
You know what I mean? And he gets he gets fucked up so fast.
He gets an upgrade really, really weirdly though.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he has to find his Kana, and I would say, like, how did he survive that? Like, okay, Sub-Zero rips off his arms, and I'm all good. I'm good with that. He cauterized the wounds with the fucking ice. Okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But when he pushes him off that fucking like old building, that's like at least 4 stories that he fell, and he face plants on some shit on the side, like some debris, right, James?
Yeah, he hits like a ledge that's already broken,
and it looks so
fucking, like, it's so gnarly. And then he bounces off of it, and spins in the air, and then hits the ground. It's like, fuck.
Like he's dead.
But Wes, you know why he lived?
Why?
Because he did 4 tours, motherfucker.
Oh, all right. I just thought it was so funny that they went out of their way to make that look so brutal, and it's like, there's no fucking way. Like,
it's showing how much of a badass Jax is, dude. Like, he can't be killed. You could rip off his arms and throw him off a building, he'll still live, dude. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
Just keep going.
And
I feel bad for Sonya. Kung Lao kind of really shits on her when they get to the temple, the Raiden temple, and he's like, "I'm sorry, Sonya or Miss Blade." He's like, "You can't step here. Like, only those with the marking are allowed to train." He's like, well, you can watch if you want.
So she's just a detective, right? Like a SWAT or some shit. She's after.
Well, she was in the Marines or wherever Rangers.
With Jax.
She was in with Jax.
Okay, because Jax has the symbol.
Yeah, but that's because Jax. She goes over it a little bit. He killed the guy that was
chosen. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He got the mark after he killed him.
Because she gets
that kind of sends her on that quest to find out what the mark means.
Because doesn't she get the mark after she kills fucking
Kano
with the gnome?
She gets it after she kills Kano. Yeah.
Another fight that feels so rushed. You spend half of your movie building up Kano to kill him off like that
with the gnome in the eyeball.
That was fine, but it's like that fight was like a couple minutes. Like, why did you waste so much time?
Well, you know what? I think their justification for that, for killing off all of these people that they're introducing in the first one, is they're able to bring them back for the sequel. That's the only way that I can see them justify.
With that thing that Kano stole, that gem or something.
Oh, true. I mean, yeah, maybe Kano's not actually dead, maybe. But
because you see